And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake. Help me create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are doing YouTube channel reviews, and I'm really excited about this. This is brought to you by our good friends over at oneof10.com, and we have a special for you going on. So, a couple of things. First of all, we're going to be doing channel reviews for September as we close out here. Due to our friends at oneof10.com sponsoring this live stream. We're streaming to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Live, Twitch.com, X.com, formerly Twitter, and Kick.com right now. So we're streaming across 6 platforms. Our friends over at One of10 are helping us out, and they hooked us up big time with a discount code for all of you. And the details of that are that you can get 50% off using code Roberto at checkout, or you can get 1 month free using code awesome. So I'm going to drop that in the chat for all of you right here. And so make sure you're checking out our friends over at oneof10.com and using our discount codes, because that will get you dope stuff. In fact, we will make a graphic for the discount so that you can kind of keep track of that and so you remember. So shout out to our friends over at oneof10.com. Now, for the channel reviews, the way this is going to work is we're going to review 10 to 15 channels for as long as my voice holds out. If people super chat $20 or more in the first hour of the stream, they will qualify for one of these reviews. We will star those reviews via super chat so I can keep track of them. And so we'll be doing that. So those are the rules. The rules for the super chat channel reviews are in the description. However, I'm also going to pick 3 to 5 of my existing channel members who have been channel members for 3 months or more. And those channel members who have been channel members for 3 months or more are going to, I'm going to pick some of them just based on their channels. And they're going to get channel reviews without having to do a super chat. So there's an added kind of perk to being a long-time loyal channel member. So we're going to be doing that. So we're going to do those channel reviews. I also want to shout out, though, one of my coaching clients and kind of do a little breakdown of their channel, because they actually have a dope channel. And so let me show them off a little bit for you. Where's screen 2? Nope, that's not screen 2. Yeah, we'll use screen 2 here. All right. Oh, also, I'm going to show you guys what the new YouTube channel awards look like here in a minute. We're going to do that as well, because I know a lot of you have been looking forward to that. I'm filming an unboxing of the new channel awards as well. The ideation tool link is not working for you. It should be working. Let me see here. So Eddie, just use this link. The way it copy and pasted into the chat is just weird. That's why I tell you guys, if you want to use the links in the description instead of the links in the chat for the most part. The links in the chat, I post them so you know what they are. But really the easiest way is just to use the link in the description. So Eddie, the link in the description should be working for you. But anyway, so this is one of my clients, Tao Prompts. And I'm going to refresh real quick just so that we see stuff going on with his channel. So yeah, as you can see, this is one of my clients, Tao Prompts, and he does stuff with video AI tools, and he does tutorials around them. If you remember, I started as a tutorial channel. He's doing really well because in my mind, his channel is a mad success because he's done he's done 106 videos. So he's only done 106 videos. I know some of you guys say you're triggered by AI art, but he mostly focuses on AI video. So, you know, artist, graphic designers, chill the hell out. Like, this guy is doing video stuff, so it doesn't really involve you. You probably don't care because it doesn't affect you. But anyway, so he does mostly tutorials around, AI video stuff, which is actually really dope. And he teaches you tutorials and principles around it. Really good guy. So this is somebody I've done coaching with. And, he's had some really good success with the channel. We've actually done multiple coaching calls together around the channel. And the thing that I think is really strong about his channel is this is a growing niche vertical. This is a growing niche vertical. So growing niches that have potential because you can be early to market. You can cover updates and there's news and stuff like that. It does really good. So the thing is, he has over 100 videos on the channel, about 106 videos. He has 32,000 subscribers. He is going to be a 100,000 subscriber channel as long as he keeps this up. And he has several videos that have more views than he has subscribers, which is a very healthy indicator for a channel, especially a channel that's only been doing this for about a year, because he's only been doing this for about a year or so. He's been consistent. So really solid channel, a lot of outlier videos here for him and high performers. So I really think this is a strong channel. I also think this is a really good example of how important it is to pick your topic correctly. So picking your topic correctly is very important in my opinion. Also for the niche, he's got a brand in terms of the way he approaches his thumbnails. So if you become a fan of his or a repeat viewer, you very easily become familiar with his style of thumbnails and can click on them. Jay, read the rules for view submissions. Salon Guy. We will be doing a channel review for Salon Guy. Jay, check the rules on channel review submissions. Jay from FixedPoint. But yeah, the Salon Guy, we will be reviewing your channel. Let's see. Home Rapid Repair has been a long-time channel member, so we're definitely going to do his. I think Savvy Tech Tips has been a channel member for over 3 months, so we can definitely do channel. We can definitely do that. Everyone, I know everyone. So since everyone keeps asking, and we have a bunch of people who just got on the stream, I want to remind all of you that the rules for the channel reviews are linked. They're mentioned in the description. What I'm probably going to have to do, because people keep asking, is I'm probably just going to have to make it a pinned live chat message, because I think that's the only way that I'm not going to have to answer the question permanently throughout the stream. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop this into the chat, and then I'm going to make it the pinned chat message so that everybody just kind of gets the idea here. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do that. So let's see. Here we go. Because again, I don't blame anybody for just not seeing it. So I'm just gonna put that there. And then I'm gonna make that the pinned message. There we go. So yeah. So that should do it. There we go. All right. So Jay. No, we got you, Jay, and we got you, Salon Guy. You're not messing up the flow. I just forgot at the beginning of the stream that I should have done that. Also, shout out to Technically T. So we were checking out Tao's YouTube channel a minute ago. I actually think we should also look at Technically T's channel just for an example, because now I've got channels to review, but I do like shouting out clients of mine that are crushing it, and T has been killing it, especially for iPhone season. And I want to show you guys examples of strong YouTube channels. That's kind of also the reason I like doing channel reviews, honestly. I miss doing the channel review streams. I like doing the channel review streams because I think it's hard to understand outside of like mega famous YouTubers what a good YouTube channel can be, or what a healthy YouTube channel can be for creators. So let me see here. Make this bigger. Make this bigger. Make it bigger. All right, there we go. All right, so Technically T. And let me make it even bigger. There we go. All right, so Technically T is crushing it. T and I have worked together a long time and everything like that. Shout out to another Atlanta creator here. His channel is doing very well, has been. He's been in the game for a long time. And so with him focusing more on the accessory and case videos, which is his bread and butter, he's doing fantastic with his Amazon affiliate. He's doing solid in terms of monthly views, which is what really matter. It's not about your views per upload, even though everyone likes to think that. It's really about your monthly total views, because that's what gets you your YouTube paycheck. So we worry about our monthly views, because our monthly channel views as a whole, and not our uploads, because we're worried about our monthly YouTube paycheck. So you can see, though, that T has been crushing it this iPhone season, getting massive views on case videos. And people would not think that accessory and case videos would do this well, but you can clearly see that there's definitely an opportunity in the market when you capitalize on something. So again, T is doing an excellent job with this. Great job on production, great job on consistency, one of the most consistent creators in the game. So this just shows you what a healthy channel can look like, and that he's on brand, and he's monetizing with affiliates, sponsors, and ad revenue. Absolutely crushing it. T, when we free up, definitely, even if it's remote, even though we both live here, we definitely should just do a podcast and just talk about your channel, because you're absolutely killing it. So again, when I've got amazing people in my community, they're doing great things, I like to show that off a little bit here. So shout out to T. Now we've got a couple of the super chats in, we got a couple of channel members in. So let's go ahead and start with Salon Guy and Jay from FixedPoint. And then we'll go to two of our channel members that have been 3 months or more. So we'll do Larry from Home Rapid Repair, who I saw at Vid Summit in person. And we'll do Savvy Tech. And so, yeah, absolutely. So let me just bring up you guys' channels here. I think YouTube will let me finally. Nope, it doesn't do that. I'm going to have to do it manually. All right, I have to bring up your channels manually. So I have to manually search, because YouTube won't let me just click on your thing. So give me a minute here. The Salon Guy. All right. Okay, so the Salon Guy. We got your channel up. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to your video section. We could probably, should we make that bigger or shrink that down? We can probably just go make it bigger. Probably not that big. Hang on. All right, so let's take a look at the Salon Guy's channel here. Probably can make this so you guys can see it. I think 3 thumbnails in frame is big enough for you guys to be able to see the numbers on this channel and see what's going on there. So you guys should be able to see that now. So the first thing here is let's start with what has been popular for you in the past and kind of break that down a little bit for everybody. So I remember when you first got going, and I think you got a shout out and a collaboration with Jared Polin from Fro Knows Photo. I think that's where I remember you from, Salon Guy. And it's really cool that you've still been keeping up with content. Even up to 4 years ago, during the beginning of the pandemic, you had one of your best videos. Now, here's the thing. I feel like with 1 million subscribers, sometimes it becomes hard to stay where you were. There's a phrase that they say all the time that is, what got you here won't get you there. Now, I think that a lot of these thumbnails and videos, to some degree, even some of these older thumbnails, I could argue that these thumbnails in their simplicity don't feel like clickbait. And based on the title, you understand exactly what the value is that you get out of the video. Does everybody in the chat, because I want people in the chat, I want you to contribute to the review process here. By the way, our reviews per channel are going to be roughly 3 to 5 minute reviews. In fact, actually, let me just go ahead and start the timer. So these are going to be 3 to 5 minute reviews. It's also going to make it easy for me to cut these up into segments later for the clips channel and for members only content. So here's the thing. With this channel, back in the day, you got a video here with like 2.5 million subs. I think that, one, this is actually a really solid looking photo that tells you this isn't clickbait. And then when you hover on it, you can see exactly that this is a high production, high value, very clean video. There is something for that clean aesthetic of just being on a plain white background that feels premium. And that easily feels like you're going to get exactly what the video promises, which makes that very accessible to people. So that's what people like about this video and this thumbnail. And that's why this thumbnail, in all of its simplicity, with no text, no gimmicks, it works, because the thumbnail is also immediately into the preview of the video. Do you see that? So can everyone understand how this is a pure value-driven video for the viewer, that the video says how to fade an undercut step-by-step, the Salon Guy. So the thing is, the branding is at the end. If you're going to do branding, you do it at the end of the title, because your branding is the least important thing to a viewer in most cases. How to fade an undercut step-by-step. That tells you you're going to get exactly what that thing is. And you're also getting step-by-step. So it's also relieving your anxiety of, will I be able to do the thing that I want to do? And the other thing that relieves your anxiety is there's no gimmicks here. Here's a guy cutting the hair, and the minute that you hover on this, there's the guy cutting the hair. So the thing is, that simplicity by itself sells the value. It's also had 8 years to accumulate these views, and I bet you it's still bringing in views to the channel today. So that's something to think about. Now, I know you want me to talk about, well, what about my videos right now? I want you to understand, I'm comparing your most popular hits and your prime, and the fact that even 3 years ago during the pandemic, you had another video that did this exact same value proposition. You know, you have something that has pure value for the viewer, and when they see it, they know what it is. They see somebody and they're going to get that look. They're going to get that cut that they want. And then when they click into the video or hover into the video, they see exactly what they see is what they get. You also did some other things like the Levi Ackerman thing, where you tap into a trend that's popular, because 4 years ago, Attack on Titan was on its peak. Okay, so there is a value to that. Let's go to where you are today and see what's going wrong. So for one thing, even though you may feel like, okay, I have all these subscribers, they should be watching. It's been 8 years that you built up your channel, 10 years that you built up your channel. There is a such thing as churn. And you also had these moments of virality as well, which probably gave you most of the subscribers. You also have a massive inventory of content. You have 3,000 videos of content. Your viewership is spread out across those. So churn is normal, and also people aren't necessarily going to prioritize the video in every case. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go exactly back to purely the white background, but I also think that you don't have to be in the thumbnail if that doesn't add any additional value. Let's go ahead and find a video that where at some point in the recent past, the video was successful, and then see what would duplicate that success. Because it's not that I believe that all of these videos or thumbnails are inherently bad. I would give most of them, if I was honest. This one, I'm going to give this thumbnail in your latest video. This thumbnail gets a 1 out of 5 from me. It gets a 1 out of 5 stars from me. I don't really feel like this video is inherently valuable to your audience. And I think that anybody on TikTok could make a video about what your hair says about you in less than 60 seconds, and people would be, oh, okay, and that would make something interesting and could be an interesting skit. So I don't know that that's your audience. I also think that you shouldn't necessarily try to worry about, well, there's so many viewers for a young audience. Let me try to tap into that. And I understand with trends in pop culture, some of that has worked for you before with the Deadpool versus Wolverine thing. I don't think this is going to be able to repeat that and duplicate that. I also think the time on Deadpool versus Wolverine content has passed, honestly. So let's just try and find something that is more valuable to your audience, that your audience said yes to, because then we can take yes for an answer. So we can find something you did deliver on that your audience gave a significant amount of views to. And then the answer I would have is, let's learn from what they said yes to, and then see what them saying yes to that video says about them. And then let's go from there and try to duplicate that success. So the last thing that didn't do that bad, that has potential still, is the trending haircut for 2024. I might have, if I was going to go with celebrity hairstyles, I would go with the people who themselves are on trend in celebrity gossip on YouTube shorts right now. This one with biggest haircut trend of 2024 did well for you 5 months ago. 5 months ago still would have put us in the roughly the end of the first quarter of the year, definitely in the first half of the year. Therefore, a lot of people could still be searching for that. This is slowed down in its view velocity of views per hour, but it's still fine that this is probably getting you about 200 extra views a day, which is not nothing, which adds up. If it maintains that trajectory, you still, by the end of the year, would have gotten thousands upon thousands of views. And it did clear 100,000 views over the last 5 months. So this one is a candidate for, okay, people like this. Also, I know it sucks and it feels some kind of way to be at like 1 million subscribers and then have underperforming videos, but you've done a channel so well for so long that you shouldn't always feel pressured to just put things out at this point. You also shouldn't feel pressure that every video has to perform, because again, your channel has a strong legacy value that was built in utility. I think, frankly, a lot of people came along later and copied things from your channel. But I also think that the content that you did ultimately ended up being cannibalized by short form content. So the thing is, that's not all your fault, Salon Guy. In terms of an answer for this, it's very hard for you to still break through, in the fact that I think a lot of the audience has shifted to people who are newer, fresher, that aped your content or the value of your niche over time, which you probably see some of that yourself. You're the original, and a lot of people have came along with copycats. I do think, however, an idea that I would have for you there are characters and icons in pop culture that never, ever, ever die or lose interest and have been immortalized. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Salon Guy, did you ever do a series of videos on the hairstyles?
I can only search by topic for movies.
No, Siri, I wasn't talking to you. Salon Guy, did you ever do a video on the haircuts and hairstyles of the characters and stars of Harry Potter? Did you ever do that? That fandom still exists and people still go for that look. I also think that there was a missed opportunity because I don't think during the third Spider-Man movie you did for the Harry Potter stuff? Okay, cool. I think you did numerous Harry Potter vids. Excellent. Okay, great. What have you done any for the main characters in terms of Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield from the Spider-Man films? And the reason I bring them up is the celebrities that show up in YouTube shorts. And did those do well, Salon Guy? Because the celebrities that show up in YouTube shorts, if you're going to do something, here's Timothy Chalamet. You did that one a year ago. This thumbnail is wrong, though, for this. For the Timothy Chalamet and it's versus John B, I would have just did a Timothy Chalamet video, not versus another person. And I would have just done a how to get that hairstyle. And so I would have just, and I might have found somebody. I like this idea of celebrity lookalikes. I think that collabing with celebrity lookalikes would be good. Oh, you did a solo of his? Okay, good. But also I think the thumbnail for that one was wrong. And the thing is, I think your thumbnails have to start being either very photography driven thumbnails, but they might also, you might need to look into premium thumbnails at this point, because I just don't think that these thumbnails are as competitive as they could be in 2024. I think that these thumbnails were fine years ago, but I don't think they're competitive in the landscape of today. You've done them all? Okay, cool. Skipped over 400 view video from 4 months ago, back up at the top. Let me go to that. Sure. 4 months ago, 400 views. There's a 400K video from 4 months ago. That's the one from 5 months ago. Okay. How to grow your hair out. Okay. So what I would say, Salon Guy, is here's my thing. No, it's 400K, not 417. Let's see. I'm also going to check. Unless it's the 417K video for growing your hair out, I don't see it. Oh, okay. So it's probably the how to grow your hair out 417. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. So how to grow your hair out. So this one here, this is again back to old school pure utility, and it's still getting views today. It's getting 100. It's getting 107 views per hour. I would assume that, Salon Guy, correct me if I'm wrong, this video is getting most of its views probably from a combination of search and suggested. It's probably getting its views from search and suggested, right? Wish there's a way for me to see that publicly in YouTube. So what I would say is, I think that for your channel, it can't compete as easily on trends anymore, because I think there are just some newer channels that have hijacked that bit off your style, but then innovated on top of it, or had some other thing or some other component, probably adding a little bit of celebrity gossip to it. There's probably a lot of people who've aped and copycat your content now. What I would say, though, is that videos like this that are pure utility and that people are looking for no clickbait, I think that your utility content that's mostly targeting search is probably your answer, which would normally not be the case. Normally, you want to tackle the homepage, but unless your thumbnails are going to be, well, even if your thumbnails were premium thumbnails, I just don't think that this content performs as well on the YouTube homepage anymore. And I think the only traffic source you can really benefit from is search and suggested at this point, because I think that it's people who want your expertise, but that's an older market, and people who search for expertise don't necessarily scroll the YouTube homepage for that. They search intentionally. And YouTube isn't like what it was in the Jared Polin days. So I think that the new answer, even though you're a 1 million subscribed channel, is, unfortunately, if you're leveraging expertise and experience, that is going to become much more of a search play. I also think for what you're doing, because you're not some sensationalist and you're not a clickbaiter and you're not a celebrity gossip type person and you're not a fashionista, and I don't know for 100% what the split on demographics of male to female audience you have. I don't know that these videos, just for their substance, I don't think substance videos to this degree have an easy viability play on traffic from the YouTube homepage. I think that as a utility play, they're search and suggested. 70% male, 70% male, 30% female. Right. So I think with that split, I think you have to target search more. I think that from what I can tell for your most popular videos of all time, another recommendation is, and we're going a little older, we're going a little over for you just because of reasons, but also the overwhelming majority of successful thumbnails for you always use the subject matter exclusively in the video for the most part. I think that I'm not in general against people putting themselves in the thumbnails. I think when it shows you actually cutting hair, though, if it's you actually cutting hair, it makes sense to have you in the thumbnails taking action. So it's also possible that action-oriented thumbnails have a bias toward performance as well. So I would consider that in your approach. So things that feel very specific and things that feel like they cannot possibly be clickbait appeal to people who want utility, who want expertise, and who want value. So that would be my answer to you. So slight segment before the next review. One, definitely going to try to keep these within the timer situation. So I'm going to run the timer for these. The other thing I want to do is before I do the next review, I want to show you guys something. Remember how YouTube is doing new creator awards? This is the Silver 100K YouTube Icon Award. So they give us something that's kind of like the diamond play button, but silver. So you guys can get a good look at that. And let's also let you see it with camera angle too. So you kind of get a sense of this. So this is the new YouTube Icon Awards. Now, this doesn't mean they got rid of the play buttons, the play button trophy awards. So they reduced it in size. This is the small one. And then let me get the original for you. Well, it's not the original. It's the one you guys are used to. I got the original. The original is a glass trophy. But the ones you guys are used to, the plaques you guys are used to in terms of size, just so you can compare. So it's this in size, and we'll go to camera angle 1 so you guys get a better look. So in terms of size here for scale, I'm trying to get these out of the light reflection. So you see it's like about half the size about half the size here. So they shrunk these down. I'm going to do an unboxing video so that you guys get to see these and compare it. I'm also going to compare it to my original award design from 2006. So I think the reason they had to shrink these down is because it was coming too expensive. Because according to my math, YouTube, in giving out the free versions of these, has already had to spend over $100 million in creator awards. So I think that they did a projection of how many more awards they'd have to make at this rate. And it just became so expensive in terms of millions of dollars. They spent $100 million so far on creator awards. So I just don't think it was sustainable for the free awards for them to keep making them at this size. Same thing for the gold ones, for as expensive as those are. And yes, YouTube Shorts played a role in that. So if you managed to get an old big one, congratulations. If you got an old bigger one like me, if you got these smaller ones, I will say the convenient thing about the smaller ones is they are lighter and they fit on normal bookshelves instead of having to have crazy bookshelves to fit them. So just wanted to show you guys that because I know some people have been asking about it and to help you out with that. And I'm going to show you the other one, the Icons Award. So you can also buy and order. You will not get this one for free. You can buy and order an Icons Award for about $225 if it's silver. It's a lot more if it's gold if you qualify. They check your channel. They do have to verify that you have the appropriate amount of subscribers before they let you order copies of this. So again, I ordered some more copies of this. I use them to display around the house. I also pay for copies of some of my coaching clients' play buttons. We're collecting those. Now they're going to be smaller. So now I'm going to have all these half-size play buttons floating around because of that. So yeah. The new awards will all be the smaller version. So the new awards, everybody who gets 100K from now on, you get in this baby, you get in the small one. You get in the small one. You won't have the big one like me, the OG, but you also have an option to pay some extra money to get this thing, which is pretty cool. So I like this. I'll probably put this on display in my library, I think. That'll end up on the shelf. This one will probably end up on the shelf in the library as well because it actually fits a library shelf now. So just something I wanted you guys to know before we do the next channel here. Bravo Mato says, I earned the Google Premium Partner Glass Award with my marketing agency, made them hundreds of millions in ad revenue. They can spend it. Bravo Mato, what does it take to earn the Google Premium Partner Glass Award? What do you have to do to get that? Sam Woodall, yes, there's engraving on this. So my name is engraved on the back of the Silver Icons Award, and my name is engraved even on the small YouTube plaque. The small YouTube plaque has my name engraved on it. So the glass one too, by the way. So they do the laser etching and engraving on there for your name, but also on the Icons Award, yes, they do put it on the back. And so you guys can see that clearly. That's my name. Don't wear it out. So yeah, they do put that on there. Boom. So that's cool. So that's official. That's legit from YouTube. So that's kind of our Creators Awards update. I know a lot of you are working towards this award. So I know you wanted to see that. Do we still have review spots open for the stream? According to my stats, yes, because we have Baldy Rudy, we have Unfinished and Unstoppable, and we've still got Jay. So yeah, we've still got some slots left. I think we've still got at least 6 slots left. So we do. Just read the rules for that. So Bravo Mao says Google Ads 10 million in 12 months and have a top performing MCC in the 97th percentile or higher. Okay, I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. We got Max Matrak. Mine is in French, but you shouldn't have too much difficulty understanding the essentials. I'll just use my translation tool for the French one. So that'll help. Yeah, it is a little sad about getting the smaller ones for you put in the effort. but I just think that from a cost standpoint, they had to. I don't love that they shrunk it personally, but I understand it. Part of me wishes that maybe this had just been the size to begin with, because if this had just been the size to begin with, I don't think anyone would have a problem. This size is comparable to the original Glass Awards from 2016, 2012 through 2016. We had Glass Awards. They retired that design after about 4 or 5 years, and it was about this size, which meant it could fit on a normal size bookshelf. You know, the kind of bookshelves you might get from IKEA or Walmart. So the thing is, I think from a convenience standpoint that this is much more convenient for people. And then the same thing with the fact that the gold one is now the size of the silver one. So for display purposes, I actually think it's easier to display. I also think it's less likely to fall off the wall and break something. So from a practicality standpoint, I think the size of the 2017 design, the 2017 design that we've had for 7 years, I think was impractical and maybe a little too big. I get how cool it is, how big it is, and to show it off, but I just think it was impractical. So I just wish it had been these from the start. Contempo Coding says, glad I got multiple copies of my Biggie play button. Yep, absolutely. Sam says he prefers the smaller one. Jason, appreciate you. Yep. Yeah, Keisha, I think they're changing it because of the size. Sam Woodall has a great suggestion for you, by the way, Salon Guy. Beard stuff could do very well for you with a 70% male demo. Absolutely agree. We have, I think, 6 channels in the waitlist for review. I think now it's 8 channels. So I think we are covered there. So I'm going to pull up hang on. I'm going to pull up whose channel am I going to pull up? I'm going to pull up, because we have it here, Jay Byron FixedPoint. So give me a second, Jay, because I have to manually pull up your channel because of how YouTube is. All right. So, Jay. All right. First of all, love the banner and really like the profile pic. This is solid. Create and sell digital products, new videos weekly. Okay, so everybody, lesson from Jay here. Oh yeah, let's start the clock here. So lesson from Jay. Lesson from Jay. This is exactly how you want to do a high quality YouTube channel banner. And this is set up to where this is going to look good on mobile. So very clean. And I think you did a very good job of the way that you approached your profile picture too. I think it could have been cropped a little bit differently, because I don't think we need to see your arm in there, and it'd be nice to not cut off your head as much. But the side angle works because of when you reply to comments. So very good. Strong start, premium thumbnails, smart that you've done photo shoots in multiple outfits that you can cut out. I would increase the range of your facial expressions, though, so that the facial expressions can add something to the thumbnail videos. But the thumbnails are strong. 30,000 subscribers. I'm not mad at these views. Love the design. Love the aesthetics. Love that I can see a clear brand. Love that you have a single value proposition. Let's look at what did very well for you. So Printify plus Etsy, print on demand, create and sell print on demand. So the thing is, your whole thing is digital products. Your most popular series are Etsy optimization videos, print on demand videos, and t-shirt design videos, but it's also Etsy optimization. Digital products have done, videos have done well for you, but overwhelmingly it's print on demand and Etsy optimization videos for sure. are your top two. So here is what my thought is. Let me see something. Okay, great. So, sorry, I had to fix my timer. So since everything is Etsy optimization, print on demand, and then digital products do well for you, it feels like you wanted to go more in the digital products direction. Here's what I would do. I would do 2 to 3 videos a week, honestly. I would do 2 to 3 videos a week. And come on. Why is it what? Come on, YouTube. What are you doing? I would do 2 to 3 videos a week, probably 3 videos a week if I'm being honest. And the 3 videos a week that I would do is once a week, I would do a video that is purely like an Etsy style tutorial, an Etsy tutorial. 1 video a week is going to be print on demand. And 1 video a week is going to be more digital product focused. So I would do something that's print on demand and selling t-shirts online at least once a week as one of your primary videos. And then the other 2 videos a week are going to be more Etsy related. And then another one is going to be more digital product related. And that's what I would do in terms of optimizing around a 3 video a week schedule for you, man. And I think it makes a lot of sense to go in that direction. And you said most of your videos are getting views from YouTube Browse. The particular video is getting it through search. Yeah. So here's the thing. I understand why people try to target the YouTube homepage, which is browse, because that's where the most views come from. However, what's misleading about the narrative. So I'm going to tell you all something. So let me just switch it up a little bit. I'm going to tell you all something about YouTube. The narrative that you need to target the homepage is not incorrect. However, it's a little misleading because yes, overwhelmingly more than like 70% of all YouTube views are driven by the homepage, but 90% of all views go to 3% of channels. So the YouTube homepage is the most competitive traffic source that there is in YouTube, and you're fighting 97% of all creators for 10% of what's left over after the top 3% of creators take all the views. So when you think, oh, I really care about getting my views from the homepage, just remember, every time you're worried about getting views from the homepage, who are you competing with? Mr. Beast, Mark Rober, Ryan Trahan, Logan Paul, KSI. Every time you are trying to get views from the YouTube homepage, you're competing with 1 million subscribed creators in the YouTube homepage feed. In fact, most of you right now, if you went into your phone and you scrolled the YouTube homepage feed, most of you are going to be recommended videos, whether you subscribe to those people or not, from 1 million to 10 million subscribed YouTube channels. And that's overwhelmingly going to be about roughly 30 to 50% of everything you see in your homepage feed, regardless of who you are. That's how it is. So that's kind of what you're up against from a competitive standpoint when you try to target the YouTube homepage. I'm not telling you to not target the YouTube homepage. I am saying that it becomes increasingly difficult because you will have to absolutely have premium thumbnails, strong topics that have broad appeal or specific appeal on utility, identity, urgency, or you might have to use the 5 psychological triggers, the 5 C's of click psychology. So controversy, conflict, confusion, curiosity, conspiracy, which may not fit your content or may not fit your ethics or morals if you want to go that route. So there's an issue that some of you will face in that type of situation. So do keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that there is a genuine competitiveness that's very difficult to win on with the YouTube homepage. Some of you, to establish a decent view floor, actually need to focus on the following things. It's not that I'm preaching the gospel of SEO. It's that I believe that for establishing monthly views that give you enough recurring evergreen ad revenue every month, that you need a solid amount of your back catalog and YouTube portfolio to basically work like dividend stocks. Reliable views that pay you every month, like having dividend stocks. So I think you need to think of your YouTube portfolio kind of like a diversified stock portfolio, and a certain amount of it needs to be evergreen and evergreen search friendly and evergreen even homepage friendly content that has a kind of predictable trend of getting you enough views, enough videos that get you enough views every month to help you pay some bills and have some sustainable income. So you could think of those evergreen and search and utility videos kind of like dividend stocks that you rely on. They're not fancy. It's not as fun as crypto and going viral. It's not as fun as growth stocks like the Magnificent Seven, but it gives you something you can count on for monthly cash flow. So I would think in those ways. That's also where I like quantity and making like multiple videos a week if you can do it, because I think of it kind of like dollar cost averaging of playing in the stock market and being safe and conservative there. So that's one way to think about the approach to YouTube. I'm not saying you can't take a swing on trends and think of trends as day trading attention. You could think of it that way. So jumping on a trend can be helpful, and I'm not against it, but I don't think it should become your whole strategy or your whole personality. By the way, I'm not saying that about Jay here. I think what Jay is doing makes sense and is solid, and I like his approach. So I think Jay is doing an excellent job. I just think that creating a solid view floor. The other thing I would say about solid view floor, by the way, for those of you interested in that idea, the concept of making a solid view floor, is the thing that you should look at is stop looking at how many views you get on every upload. And you guys should stop looking at view to subscriber ratio because it's not real. You should look at returning viewers. Returning viewers over 90 days is the best way to establish a better overall view floor for every upload. And you should also remember that you're being paid by the month by YouTube for all of the views across all of your videos. So while you might prefer to have a particular video do well, YouTube will pay you for any video that does well. Even if you published it a year ago and it's still doing well, YouTube will keep paying you for it. And I focus more on how do we get you to be a sustainable full-time content creator making money more than I care about how many views or subscribers you're getting. I want you to be able to do this on terms that say, maybe you can cut back hours at work, be with your family more, or maybe you can leave the 9-to-5 job, have flex time, be with your family more, or do a part-time remote job and do YouTube and then be with your family more, or pursue your own goals, or build something else that's satisfying to you. And I know that money is the thing that makes that work. So my goal is to get you to sustainable income streams, a diversified income portfolio where you use a YouTube channel to build 4 or 5 streams of income that are stable enough to secure you. So my thought around that is I think a lot of you're fighting for the scraps in the YouTube homepage against million subscriber channels and wondering why it's not working out for you. And I think that you should actually have a strategy where you target some of your catalog at every traffic source. take me, for example, almost 95% of all of my suggested views come from replays of my live streams. Okay. And I now am making a new YouTube short strategy on the main channel because I now finally know that I want my YouTube shorts to be like Mark Tilbury, but for content creators specifically, and possibly some freelancers as well. I like what Mark Tilbury's approach to shorts are. And I felt that is someone whose shorts finally resonated with me just the right way to where I feel motivated and inspired by him to approach my shorts in my way, but very similar to his approach. So my belief is that you make a strategy for every traffic source of YouTube. You make a search strategy, you make a short strategy, you make a suggested strategy, you make a homepage strategy. You also think in formats, live stream strategy, vertical live stream strategy, short form strategy, long form strategy. Even in your long forms, again, traffic sources. So that would be my thoughts around that. And I think then you're not relying on any one thing. I like a diversified portfolio strategy, and I think it's the best way to be sustainable and to hedge your bets. And remember, each traffic source and each format utilizes a different algorithm. So they're not applying universal rules to YouTube. The rules of what is successful are different for live streams, different from vertical, different for shorts, and different for VODs, which are just video uploads. So just keep that in mind as well. The key to a lot of this, though, is what I like is I think that Jay here is doing 4 out of 5, if not 5 out of 5 thumbnails. I really like this approach to thumbnail design. Jay, my biggest critique for you on thumbnails is take more headshots and change up the facial expressions a little bit more. And I think that you'll see success there. Optimize around your 3 to 4 videos a week. I want to see what you're doing with live streams and shorts real quick because you are a multi-format creator. I love how you do some different facial expressions for your live streams. Your live streams are strong, but you haven't done them in 2 years. Live streaming still works, and you should keep live streams up, Jay. You really should. I would tell you to consider doing live streams 1 to 2 times a week as free workshops for people that compete with other people's online courses, and that increases the value of your own online courses and your own product promotion. So I would do that more. And I would actually encourage you to potentially do more YouTube shorts. But I think that you should also consider doing your YouTube shorts as walking and talking YouTube shorts. So that's my thoughts for Jay. So hopefully you got some value out of that. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So next up, we got Unfinished and Unstoppable. I'm going to have to grab your channel manually, so we'll do that. In the meantime, let me check out the chat. Got a bunch of you in chat. Roberto, I'm going with brute force 5 times a week. Is that overkill? For you, Salon Guy, you might want to think of refining the topics and searching that out more, and then go to brute force of what is working. So my belief in brute force is you can brute force define what is working, but if you have indicators of things that are working, in your case, videos with 100K views, what I would do is I'd go back to the drawing board on 100K videos, get a video that's popping, get a video to pop, get a video to overperform again, get an overperforming video again. Then when you say, okay, I've done that, let me try it again, then brute force what is working. If nothing is working, then brute force until something works, or take a break and refine your ideas. There may be burnout. Brute force is just where you keep hammering at something until something works. So brute force would be where, oh, I'm trying to figure out some weird strategy to finesse opening up this thing and everything. You know what? Screw it. Brute force. We're just going to hit it as hard as we can, as many times as we can until the thing breaks open, you know? So that's brute force. So brute force is where, okay, I'm overthinking. If I'm overthinking something, like YouTube, for example, just keep hammering at stuff every day until something works. And then it's like, okay, that did it. Like, so it's just the constant upload cycle. Something will work out of on a balance of probabilities. So let's see. Yeah, we will get to you, Saxophonist Corner. We've got about 10 of you in the queue, I think. So I think that if we have room for anybody after we get through all of you who are in the queue right now, then I'll let people know. But I think we're about where we want to be. So thank you. I think we've got room for like 1 or 2 more channel reviews in there, but that's probably about it. You just relaunched your channel 9 weeks ago. Okay, great. So we're going to you next. I just have to manually go unfinished and unstoppable. Unstoppable. All right. So we got unfinished and unstoppable up next. Let's see here. Okay, cool. And can I get this to work? Nope, can't get them both to work at the same time. I'll figure out a version of getting the banner up that lets me do both at the same time. Or wait, what if I do... Nah, I don't like how that looked. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so unfinished, unstoppable. Live your best life after 60. So this is money, reclaiming your health, how-to videos. Okay, so value proposition is definitely to reach the older demographic. So late Gen Xer to young boomer, I would say. What's your most popular set of videos? So your most popular set of videos are from back in the day, and content was very different. So a lot of variety. You have 80 videos. Looks like you're moving on to carnivore diet content right now. So what I would say is, from a thumbnail standpoint, thumbnails do need to probably improve, because the thumbnails, and it's a relaunch for you. So you did your channel mostly back in the day, and it's a relaunch for you. Here's what I would say to get you over the hump of monetization, or even up to 10,000 subscribers at this point. The carnivore diet and the giving up coffee thing kind of worked for you. And that was an outlier video that did 28x better and did 1,000 views, 1,800 views, which is more views than you have subscribers. And it was popular. The thumbnails overall, though, a lot of these are 1 out of 5 thumbnails, 2 out of 5 thumbnails. So the thumbnails are not very strong. And I don't think they have to be these graphic design style thumbnails per se. I do think putting text in the thumbnails work, but I also think that they can just be photographs that make sense, and that they can be body language and facial expressions. And the thing is, the over 60 crowd doesn't need you to make the coolest thumbnail in the world for it to work if that's your audience. But here is what I would do, is I would try to stick to some very specific value propositions for the over 60 audience. So your title says things like money, reclaiming your health, and how-to videos. Almost all human beings care about money, health, happiness, relationships, and time. Therefore, if people are in their 60s, I think you have to address the most pressing and immediate health and healthcare concerns that people around your age would have. So I'd actually talk a lot more about things that might have to do not only with diet, but specific things in terms of, for example, people that have to eat and have dietary restrictions, or trying the carnivore diet for 60 days at 60. That'd be like a 60-year-old tries, watch this, 60-year-old tries the carnivore diet for 60 days. That's a video that people would watch. 60-year-old tries the keto diet for 60 days. That's something people would watch. 60-year-old tries this side hustle. That kind of thing. Because one, in the case of a title and my beliefs around titles follow to some degree something I call the click method. So I want to see how I can explain this. Because I did do a post about this the other day. So the other day I did a post about the click method. So one of the things about the click method is obviously that you want a title to be as concise as it can be, which is going to be about 60 characters when it comes to YouTube. So it's going to be about 60 characters when it comes to YouTube, because otherwise there are places where it gets cut off. You're doing pretty good with your titles being concise. However, the thing that I don't feel like the titles are doing, and let me see if I can, do. I know I have this in my notes for you. So I actually think that this would help you specifically. I actually have it in not my pin. It's not in my pin tweets, and it's in my highlights. So first thing is the concise wording, 60 characters. The third thing is leveraging psychology. And there are 5 C's in the psychology of getting a click. Confusion is about confusion in the market. I'm confused about this. Can you help me out? So if people, for example, don't know how much if they can retire based on the money they have, that represent confusion in the market, right? So people in their 60s are like, well, how much is Social Security going to actually pay me? And how do I find out? So that would be something on the money side that someone in their 60s would really care about is, oh, crap, it turns out that Social Security is only going to pay me $800 a month. What am I going to do? Can I actually retire like on my Social Security? Like, how do you know? So that's something people would care about in your money bucket. So if your pillars are going to be money, health, and then nebulous, in terms of the nebulous thing with the how-to videos, I would argue that anything how-to videos probably might need to be things that save people time or make their life better or make them happier if they were doing this or make them less frustrated. So money stuff is, I would look at things that people in their 60s might still be confused about when it comes to their money and their retirement and their benefits and Medicaid and Social Security and that sort of thing. And then for health and lifestyle and wellness stuff, it would be health hacks for people in their 60s. So example is 6 health hacks every 60-year-old needs for blank is a good title formula. 6 superfoods to stay healthy in your 60s. That's like, oh crap, if you're 60, if you're my mom, you're clicking on that video. My mom click on that video. So like for me, my strategy would be I'd be optimizing a YouTube channel targeting 60-year-olds. In my case, if I was giving advice on it, I'd be optimizing about everything that my mom would think about, worry about, anything that would cause her stress in life, anything that would make her healthier, happier, more confident about retirement and life in in that age bracket and in those golden years. So the thing is, I would optimize around those desires and fears. And I tend to call this ambition versus anxiety framing. So it's like, what do people want and what do people fear is ambition and anxiety framing. And so for title formulas, I always think about that. So that's a psychology thing. So remember what I said about the 5 C's of psychology is, all right, does this address the fact that people have confusion? Is there something conflict? Conflict is versus videos. So it's this thing versus that thing. So it's like carnivore versus keto diet in your 60s, or what's, or best diet for seniors over 60. That's a video where you're putting 2 things purposely into conflict. Conspiracy is where you might talk about Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid or something like that, and how they might be screwing people over, screwing seniors over, or, hey, they did this thing or they changed this thing and seniors are going to be hurt by it. That's conspiracy. Controversy, very similar to conspiracy, but it's more direct about something that's actually happening, that's more reliable or provable, or that people are already talking about, people are already upset about, people are already having a conversation about. And then there's curiosity. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's when it's like, 6 things that do this. Oh, 6 tips for your in your 60s. 6 things you need to know before 60. 16 things you need to know before 60. 60 things you need to know before 60. So even targeting people in their 50s, approaching their 60s, and telling them what to expect is another aspect of that. Of, oh, I'm curious about that because that's something that's going to eventually happen to me. So you would have that. So that's the curiosity. We talked about curiosity, confusion, conflict, conspiracy, and controversy. So we've covered our 5 bases there. Identity. The reason I think your videos should either say in your 60s, before turning 60, 60-year-old tries, is because it speaks to the identity of the viewer and it creates immediate interest, relatability on identity. So I would do that. Then I would always try to use some word that compels emotion. And then we're already targeting keywords by saying 60, in your 60s, and then whatever the subject matter is. So the keywords part is easy. And then the status and social proof is just that you are 60. So there's I know what I'm talking about because I'm living it type situation. So that's my thoughts around this and my recommendations for you and my broader overall learning lesson. Yeah, you had 0 direction when you were launching. So, okay, that makes sense. Yep. Oh, so yeah, 60-year-old tries weightlifting challenge, or again, find something that might be popular in weightlifting or someone that's popular in weightlifting. So like 6-year-old tries, Alex Hormozy's workout. That gets views. 60-year-old tries Alex Hormozy's workout or something. 60-year-old tries this workout, insert famous person here. 6-year-old tries this. So there you go. Oh, you just found out that Social Security is only going to pay you $1,200. Sheesh, man. Yeah. Nichelle says, I can see health hacks working on target audience in their 50s and 60s. Some of us don't feel old, so it depends on how it's framed. I agree. Absolutely. So Unfinished Unstop says, this is brilliant, Roberto. Thank you so much. Yes, I made so many mistakes when I was younger that I want to help those getting older from making those mistakes. Yes, so that's how you would frame your channel. And that's where the identity part in the clicks method works. So for all of you who are keeping up, the clicks method is concise wording, leverage psychology, identify with the viewer, compel emotion, keyword research, status, and social proof. So that's the clicks method. And the 5 C's of clickbait psychology are curiosity, controversy, confusion, conspiracy, and conflict. So, those are things that we want to think about when it comes to that. And I'm going to try and paste it into the chat so that you guys can just kind of make a reference to the clicks method. So there you go. Hopefully that's helpful. We probably are going to have to only do the channel reviews we have in the queue right now. So we've got, I think, 10 more in the queue plus the 2 of our community members that we're doing. So we'll do those. So Rudy, I have to pull up your channel manually, and we'll do that. Again, shout out to our friends at oneof10.com for making all of this possible and supporting what I do. And remember, you can use code Roberto to get 50% off of oneof10.com at checkout, or you get a free 1-month trial using code AWESOME. So let's see. Baldy Rudy. All right. Let's look at your channel, my friend. And then we've got Max up next. So 15,000 subscribers, video game discussions, okay? And your content actually has some cinematic storytelling into it. Everyone, this is how you stand out in a gaming niche, as much as everyone says gaming is saturated. So he does video game discussions. Rudy does video game discussions. Look at these thumbnails. These are premium thumbnails, and these are based in photography more than they are design, but they have some great design principles. So these are visually attractive at a glance. These have an interesting story at a glance, especially is this the ultimate retro handheld? That is leveraging curiosity extremely well. Look at MSI Claw, fine wine or old milk. I would have said spoiled milk, but sure. But that's introducing conflict. That is hey, is this a deal or is it a scam? Is this, is this great or is this a scam? Is this gold? Is this fine wine or is this spoiled milk? That's conflict. That's introducing conflict. The Asus sent me a third ROG Ally X, and I don't love this title, but it worked for you because you knew your audience emotionally, and you were able to incite curiosity, but also you were able to create tension in the audience. So in terms of psychology, I would say that you're triggering some version, combination of curiosity, confusion, and conflict by doing that. Very smart. You're creating tension on purpose. Very well done, Rudy. Okay, we need to talk about the Asus ROG Ally X. So that's immediately creating curiosity, but you're also suggesting controversy, and you are introducing conflict and confusion. So that's why that has 35,000 views, Rudy. Very well done. I respect it. So the thing is, I love your thumbnail approach, and I love its simplicity. I love its cleanliness. I love the facial expressions. I love that you use body language. I love that you use props. Very smart. You're also in the Vibes framework using 3 eye-catching elements in basically every single thumbnail. So winner, winner, chicken dinner on that. But your title crafting is basically using everything I love about the clicks formula, because with the clicks method, your keywords are the product because these are tech videos. That's smart. So that's where the keyword comes in. You are crafting these titles to compel emotion, and you're not necessarily using an emotional trigger word. You're using sentence structure to compel emotion, which is much, much more difficult. The product is why you identify with the viewer in your case, because the viewer is the person who wants to buy this thing. So that's very smart. All of your titles, to my knowledge, are 60 characters or less. Very good. I love this with conflict here. I was wrong about the Legion Go. You're introducing controversy by saying I was wrong. So now you're framing them to say I was wrong. So you're introducing controversy of, hey, I effed up. And then you're introducing conflict as well, because you're inviting the viewer to criticize you. So that's something subtle that most people would have never picked up on. I hope you guys also like that I'm not just commenting on topics and thumbnails, but that I'm addressing very specific narratives around title as well and how titles work. Because I think in addition to thumbnails, a lot of you struggle with crafting proper titles. And now I think you're getting a sense of why this works. Things Rudy is doing extremely well in a design standpoint is the colors that he's using are very attention grabbing, and it also is enough contrast where you're not bored with it, and it's going to stand out in YouTube, and it works very flattering with YouTube's round corners. He also avoids YouTube's timestamp hurting his designs in any way, very purposefully. So that's extremely well done. And the type, I want to say that the font you're using is Futura Bold or Futura Black, or Futura Extra Bold. That's what I'm assuming that is from a font standpoint. Very nice, sharp sans serif font, very strong, very impactful. I like it. And you're consistent with that font. So very good. Yeah, I don't really have any unique criticisms for you, Rudy. I would say that given the views you're getting for your size of your channel and the number of videos you've done, it's excellent. But I would say that you might want to make sure that 2 minutes into the video, you're asking for subscribe after you've created some value, and just tell them, hey, if you're enjoying these videos and you don't want to miss any of them, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Because that is just an easy way to do a call to action, and you should drastically increase your subscriber conversion rate by doing that. Because for the views you're getting, you could be getting much more subscribers than you currently have. In my opinion, from my analysis, you should probably, let's see what your lifetime views are. Let's see. Yeah, you should be, by my estimation, at about 30 to 40,000 subscribers. And I'm just assuming you're not asking for the subscribe button while you still have 50% of the audience engaged. And for the value and quality and production of your content, if you did have that in there earlier, you would be getting more subscribers per view. So good job. That would be an area of improvement for you. In terms of upload consistency, looks like you're doing one video a week type schedule, which is fine. But if you could do 1 to 2 videos a week, and you could incorporate asking for subscribers about roughly 2 minutes into every video, you would probably be at 100,000 subscribers in 2 years. Stretch goal would be 3, but it'd probably be 2 years from now if you did that. So that's my math on that. The other thing is, I don't know and can't claim to know how you're doing on monetization. You should be killing it with Amazon affiliate links. But also for the length of your videos, don't be afraid to put an ad break in roughly every 4 minutes or so. YouTube won't necessarily play an ad every 4 minutes, but you'll see your RPM increase dramatically, Rudy, if you do that for as long as your videos are. So I wouldn't hesitate to do that. So great job on this channel. Hopefully a lot of people got learning lessons from everything we covered with Rudy. Yep. You said you use Lemon Milk Bold for the thumbnail font. Fantastic. That's actually really good. Do I have a video on the click method? Not yet. Not yet, but I did post it in the chat. And what I do have is it's in my, if you go to the highlights on x.com, formerly Twitter, if you go to my Twitter and you look at my highlights, it's a recent tweet I did in my highlights. I break it down. So you guys can definitely look at that. I'm also going to start as of tomorrow trying to also post to my Instagram every day. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram yet, really appreciate it. I should be the only verified Roberto Blake over on Instagram. So it's at Roberto Blake. And I got my Instagram verification back before you could ever pay for it because I got mine the hard way, getting actually press coverage and getting on the news on TV. Hashtag humble brag. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing some interesting stuff with my Instagram post. Stories will be behind the scenes and tech stuff with the studio and the camera gear and the drones. And Instagram posts are going to be combinations of infographics and inspiration. And Instagram reels are going to be custom short form, but also some clips from my podcast interviews. So definitely make sure you're following me over on Instagram. New platform to get 100,000 followers in. We got 100,000 followers in Twitter. My new goal is 100,000 in LinkedIn and Instagram at the same time. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, we got more channel reviews to get through here. We're probably going to cap them because we have quite a few of them to get through. So next up, we have Max, then we have Precious Dean, then we have SSPD Diving, Saxophone Corner, Heroes TV Japan, and then we still got to do Larry. So that's what we're going to do. So let me bring up Max's channel. I have to do that manually. All right. So we got Max here. Max is in French. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try using my Translate to English plugin. There we go. So this just gave me the titles in English. So that's pretty cool. So I should be able to review foreign channels a little bit easier now. So Max, you got 2,000 subscribers with 72 videos. Good job, buddy. Good job. Here's what I will say. I love this approach that if someone's going to do gaming content, doing something like 10 secrets and being a top 10s for that and doing some essays on like the evolution of or whatever is a really smart strategy. Also doing best of. So that's really smart. So here's the thing. I normally wouldn't give this advice, but Max, I think you should go all in on Red Dead Redemption for this channel. And I don't think you should, for this channel, do videos about any other game. I think your entire channel for this can be a 100,000 subscriber channel if you focus on Red Dead Redemption. And I think that you have to keep leaning into one of your formats. So you should have 6 content pillars. I'm going to tell you what your content pillars probably can be for this channel. They kind of already are. So one of your content buckets should be 10 secrets. And let me translate this to English again. So it should be 10 secrets. It should definitely be myth busting. So that's 2 content pillars. 10 secrets, myth busting. A third one should probably be glitches. Another one should be best and worst. So that would give you kind of like 4. And then a 5th one would be how to find things. So find this, find that, because that's working for you. And then the other one should be challenges. And for the 6th one for challenges, you can technically go viral on this channel and get a crap ton of views if you use this strategy. So there's a channel I want you to study, Max, called Onion Butter. He did 40 videos and got 160,000 subs. And I'm going to show you what he did successfully, it was mostly these Hitman videos, and you can do the same thing with Red Dead Redemption because it's kind of it's a sandbox game where you can do anything. So the thing is, you need to figure out a version of doing weird, interesting stuff in the Hitman games that makes it really intriguing as something for people to watch. Because think about it, for the Hitman games, how I beat Hitman 3 without killing anybody, and this is a perfect thumbnail, honestly, that's like really intriguing. You can do something like that with Red Dead Redemption for things people would want to see that are interesting, weird things that can be done in the game. So you need to figure out some weird challenge that makes sense and makes the game more interesting from a storytelling standpoint. And that would be a 6th bucket that has viral potential. So that'd be a 6 content pillar, because my strategy, I believe in making like 6 content pillars. So that would give you that angle. So hopefully, Max, that advice helps you. Does that 6 pillar format fit all channels? It fits most channels. It fits more than 90% of channels, because it creates just enough variety for the creator to not get bored, and just enough. But the thing is, it can be 6 pillars, but it needs to focus on one audience identity. So you can have 6 pillars, but it has to focus on one audience identity. So what that means is, you have to think of it like sitting with kids at a lunch table. Go back to high school. Life is high school forever. Life is high school forever. So if you're at a lunch table and you're with the jocks, there's 6 things you could talk about if you're at the jock and cheerleader table. So if you're at the cheerleader and jock table, if you're at the table with the jocks and cheerleaders, when you sit down, you have to talk about how the game was Friday night. You have to talk about what you guys are going to wear to the pep rally. Okay. You have to talk about Monday Night Football, and you have to talk about these like 3 other things. Otherwise, you're going to get kicked out of your table because you're talking about stuff that doesn't matter. So you have to know who you're sitting with and know, okay, these are my people. These are the 6 things that they care about. And I can really basically, as long as I can say anything I want, as long as it applies to these 6 things that they actually care about. So if you're at the nerd table, that if you're at the nerd table, you can talk about, if you're at the nerd table and it's like right now we're talking about anime, you got to figure out, okay, here are the 6 things I know that I can talk about anime without looking stupid. So there you go. You're at the video games table, you can talk about the games, you can talk about the hardware, you can talk about PlayStation versus Xbox. You can talk about this, you can talk about that, but that there's things you can't bring up. So there's kind of this understanding that high school is forever, and you have to kind of play by the psychology. All psychology can be reduced down to the epitome of peak human psychology can be reduced down to being a high schooler forever. Like, I hate to say it, that's really depressing on some level, but that's basically what it is. So all the psychology, especially for social media, all social media psychology reduces down to high school, at worst college. So it basically is refined down to that as a mental model. So Max, you said that helps you out? Glad to hear it, buddy. Glad to hear it. So, yep. Let's see. So we did Baldy Rudy, we did Max, Precious Dean. So let's go look at or Precious Deanne, I think is Precious Deanne. Okay, cool. All right, let's go. So Precious Deanne, your channel is a lifestyle channel. The font's not bad. Let's see. Videos. So you have what you eat in a day to lose. I would change this title. So you have almost 1,000 subscribers, 300 videos. So this first one, I would change this title. Well, I would also change this thumbnail a little bit. for you, start putting the text at the top, because you can see that your text is running into the YouTube timestamp. And if you want people to read the text, you're going to have to put the text on the left, or you're going to put the text at the top. I would start maybe changing the thumbnail style, because to some degree, YouTube's also going to start putting this new badge in the top left-hand corner. So you're going to have to kind of figure out where you want to put your text so it's easier to read. So there is that. If you're going to do before and after thumbnails, I would use the before and after thumbnails that you see for popular videos. So for example, if I use 1 of 10, I'm going to go before and after. So for before and after thumbnails, so this is a good example here of a before and after thumbnail right here. So pro versus world champion. Let's see. The framing of before and after thumbnails. Did I have something else in my filters that... So yeah, I would use more of this style. Thank you for the thumbnail selector, 1 of 10. So I would use this style of before and after. If you're going to try to do transformation videos for like a weight loss journey, then you want to go with before and after style thumbnails. And these are popular before and after style thumbnails that get a crap ton of views. So you want to use this. It's usually you put a bar down the middle for the before and after thumbnails. Usually sometimes use the phrase before and after, or you could use the weight loss itself of this amount of pounds versus that amount of pounds. But you want to use popular thumbnail formats for before and after if you're going to do before and after style thumbnails for a weight loss journey. So I would go in that direction. From a topic or a popular video standpoint of something you can do, you could do a series for a couple of videos where you might try, because it's popular right now, you might try doing something like, I tried Lizzo's workout for 30 days. I tried Lizzo's workout for a week. So you could do a series. I tried Lizzo's workout for a week. I tried Lizzo's workout for 30 days. I tried Lizzo's workout for 90 days. That's a trilogy system for making videos as a series that create binge loops of watching an evergreen. Because you're using also the trend jacking of somebody else that's a celebrity for social proof and using a celebrity workout for weight loss that's trending and talked about constantly in social media, you can attract a lot of views off of that. It has viral potential. I'm not telling you it will go viral, but I'm telling you it has that potential. So those are the kind of things that makes for a series. A follow-up series and sequel to that is I tried Lizzo's weight loss diet for a week. I tried Lizzo's weight loss diet for 30 days. I tried Lizzo's weight loss diet for 90 days. That's another series that could probably get a crap ton of views based on those. And then there is other content you can do with celebrity workouts and celebrity diets. Then in terms of a some way to do things that feel much more personal to you in terms of getting people to pay attention to your journey, you want to use what I call ambition versus anxiety framing, where you kind of put into contrast, here's the thing people are afraid of, but here's the thing they want to achieve that would allow them to confront that fear. So that means more emotional titles in a way. Now, you don't want to take that too far because people get really upset when you do, but you got to figure out what makes sense. So that would kind of be my advice on that sort of thing. So hopefully you found a lot of that helpful. You wanted to see if, I don't know when you said scroll down of which before and after is better, but this before and after is not as strong because it's not as readable. Because the other thing is, I understand the style you were going through with some of the fonts. It works when the letters are big, by the way. The font style you're going through work when the letters are big, but not when they're small because it's hard to read on a phone, especially on a glance. And then do you remember in general that the timestamp is in the bottom right? So you do need to adjust all of the thumbnails in mind with the fact that there's a timestamp in the bottom right-hand corner. So do keep that in mind as well. So, yep. Nichelle Gaynor says, I just did a quick search and I don't see any other videos like I did Lizzo's workout. So I think Roberto's right. Yeah, I think that would, again, I think that that has a lot of potential because it taps into a lot of really strong psychological things that would work. And so I just think that it makes the most sense. And that's why I suggested that as a potential topic idea. So a lot of people will tell you, hey, trend jacking, use a celebrity, use a famous person, but you have to do it just right. You have to do it just right. That's why my answer to it is something like, and I can even make it a series and then say, oh, there's a reason for someone to watch, because someone may not care about your weight loss journey, but they care about Lizzo's weight loss journey. So what you're doing by trend jacking is you're hijacking existing attention. I tell people that it makes more sense to go and dunk your bucket in, you know, a well that you know has water instead of drilling down and coming up short. People are like, oh, I want to own the thing. So it's like, I want to go and I want to drill for oil. I want to drill for water. It's like, just pump from the gas station. Just pump, or like, just go ahead and dip into an existing body of water here. So you want to go ahead and say, you know what? If I'm thirsty, I'm just going to go where water is instead of like, you know, trying to drill for it. So, you know, I'd rather just go to a full well than try and drill for my own water and come up short. So I would just rather siphon attention than drill for it. So if existing attention, if an ocean of attention exists, let me just get some of that. Let me just get some of that instead of saying out here, Mr. Dry Bones, you know. So I would take advantage of some of those things. It's not just down to celebrities, though. That's also even sourcing topics like products, like trying a trend, a fad, a new product, even. Obviously, with some things like fitness and weight loss, you have to be careful about that because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you risk your own health. So just something to think about there. Let's see. We got SSP Diving says, I recently feel stuck. I struck gold the past few days with my latest 2 videos. I never imagined doing disaster breakdown videos, hoping to keep the momentum going after this trending news dies down. I feel like I can niche down to YouTube now. Thank you. Okay, so you found something that works. You found something that gets attention. And so now you want to focus on it. And it may not be what you originally started with. But okay, fair enough. I think that you originally, looking at your thing, so what happened to you was this. I think you originally wanted to talk about diving and snorkeling and stuff like that specifically, and maybe teaching people how to do that. So if we look at your oldest content, I bet you that there's some interesting stuff there. Oh, cool. You're teaching people just about what commercial diving and that profession and that sort of thing. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. People love disaster stories. I have a client who does outdoor disaster stories. And people love survivor stories. And people love survivor stories. So if we look at what your most popular videos of all time are, people like the anxiety of like what's going to happen. So underwater welding, the reason that worked out 6 years ago is because there's an element of danger. People are sitting on their phones, people are sitting in their houses, and they feel safe. So guess what they want? These people who feel super safe, they want excitement. And what's more exciting than deep sea underwater diving, deep sea welding? Like who knows what's going to happen, right? And the ocean is a scary, dangerous place for most people. So I think there is something, and people do like mysteries. So I think that if you kind of rebrand a lot of this around mysteries and intrigue and survivor stories and disasters and catastrophes. So like if I was going to come up with a strategy for you, if we were doing like a one-on-one coaching call, like I do with my academy members or my one-on-one coaching clients, what I'd probably do is I'd probably come up with 6 content pillars. We'll probably only talk about 3 because we're pressed for time. But like, I'd probably go, okay, let me talk about underwater tragedies and wreckages and survivor stories like, Ocean Gate and maybe other things like this. So that might be one. Another one might be unsolved ocean mysteries. Like unsolved ocean mysteries, that gets us with that curiosity and that conspiracy type thing. So there might be that angle of it. I also think survivor stories of people like that went diving in underwater caves and they almost didn't make it and they survived, and you breaking all that stuff down. So that's probably like a third pillar. And then I think like accidents, like underwater welding or underwater salvage accidents. I even think accidents at sea could be one. And it may not fit your thing, but I also think to some degree, like ocean and at sea based, possibly. It's not that I'm saying ghost stories, but I think maybe even talking about like the ghost ships. You know what I'm talking about with the ghost ships, which is the ones they find like abandoned at sea and they can't find the crew and they can't find what happened and they have no clue and just there's nobody. Like I think that a lot of people would be super into that. So that's like 5 of 6 content pillars. I'm sure you can come up with another one. Now here's the other thing. I think a 6th one could be you doing videos that might involve your dives. So I don't have a problem if you want to cover your dives. Maybe you want an outlet for that. I don't know, but I don't have a problem with it. But I think unsolved ocean mysteries, and I also think the ghost ship stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. And so, yeah, I think stuff like that would do extremely well for you. The other thing is these thumbnails are okay, kind of, but I would try to make thumbnails that are, a 5 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5 more premium thumbnails. So let me see. The heavy machinery one is good, but it's just a photograph one. Let me try deep sea. A lot of gaming stuff coming up, but that might just be. Let me see if underwater welding. Yeah. So like I would like if it can't be photography based, you might try and I know some people are against this, but it's like you might try some photorealistic versions of, if you can't find good photos or good examples, you might try photorealistic versions of AI for underwater thumbnails. And then you might want to simplify the text a little bit. So for sure, let me see. So who is next? So yeah. Also, yeah, I think the ghost ships thing, I think people really, really get excited about that. Like, I screw myself over sometimes by watching that kind of stuff when I'm supposed to be going to sleep, and then it becomes a problem. But I think a lot of people have that as a guilty pleasure. So let's look at the saxophonist corner. The saxophonist corner. All right. I think that you should absolutely use your face in the profile picture. The saxophone photo cover here, I think, is going to not be understood as what it is when it's in mobile because of the way it crops. Because remember, this crops in mobile. So you might want to redesign that. I get what you were going for. Let's see. Less than 100 videos so far. Strong start, 1,000 subscribers. Very cool that you have some of this stuff like the Star Wars Cantina Band Quintet cover. Some of these thumbnails are just photos because that's what the event was, hit or miss. Then some of these are well-designed premium thumbnails. So I'm very curious as to the gap that happens in some of the thumbnail quality. So trying to figure out what's going on there with the gaps in thumbnail quality. Clearly, you doing saxophone stuff related to games is absolutely killing it. And I love this for you, to be honest. So I think that's dope. So I really like that. Sorry, I was messing with my clock there. I think classic beloved video games clearly is the thing that's very popular, but also, oh yeah, Stars and Stripes. So doing things that are universally loved and known by people, I think tapping into the most known and beloved franchises and things and doing covers is smart for you. Am I imagining it, or did you do a Ghostbusters one? Because that'd be dope. Missed opportunity with not doing Beetlejuice. Missed opportunity with not doing Beetlejuice. I would look at pop culture events. Maybe it's not too late to do the Beetlejuice one. I would tap into pop culture a lot because I think the cool thing with you, Saxophone's Corner, is it's very clear that pop culture with saxophone covers and quartets and quintets is working for you, and also solos. So very good job there. But I would like to see some consistency in these dope thumbnails that you do when you get a chance to do them. I'd like to see that be the standard of you doing premium thumbnails because they look so cool and so fun, and people cannot help but click on them. This is the kind of thing that can win on the homepage of YouTube, in spite of there being so many million subscriber channels that you'd have to compete with. So the direction that I would go for you would be, I'd be leaning into pop culture and nostalgia and beloved IP and leveraging it, and then doing the thing that only you can do, which is you're one of the rare people who can combine that with doing saxophone and was willing to do it. So I love that for you, man. That's actually unique and interesting and dope. I think the chat probably agrees. Oh yeah, also top 10 hits of every year. That could be dope. And so yeah, I think there's a really unique opportunity with that. And don't be afraid to stage things for your thumbnails and take photos and to be able to make them nice in Photoshop. But I think the Super Mario Wonder stuff was good. This is brilliant. And doing the costumes is unique. It's something that they cannot get anywhere else. It makes you a destination channel. So it's hella unique. And I think this is a strong idea conceptually. And I think you should just capitalize on it more. This is obviously not the kind of channel that you can probably do uploads to every week. But I think you can swing doing an upload every 2 weeks if some of those are solo sessions and then others are quartets, quintets. But hey, if something is a quintet, we need to see the 5 people, man. We got to see that. We can't just see you if it's a quintet. So in the thumbnail, it has to represent that because that's kind of the interesting value to it. And that's how we also know it's not clickbait. So I want to see more of that. I want to see consistency of 2 videos a month, if possible, from you, because I know this is higher quality produced and it has a uniqueness element to it. But that's what I'd want to see, and that's what I think the audience would like to see. And I think this is strong, and I think this can be something pretty unique, pretty special. Do I know that it can go to 100,000? No, but 10,000 certainly. Absolutely. So let's see here. Heroes TV Japan. Okay, so you're having a problem where you have over 100,000 subscribers, but you can't get your play button. You need to reach out to Team YouTube about that specifically. I would reach out to them in Twitter because they can typically help with that. You also could use chat support, but I would specifically try to work with the Team YouTube channel in Twitter. Oh, excuse me. So let's see if I can understand other things that are going on with your channel. So you have 100,000 subscribers. You have 1,500 videos. It looks like you focus on a K-pop group. So your channel is kind of a fan channel. Maybe that might have something to do with why YouTube is not giving you a play button specifically. These thumbnails definitely can be much, much, much better. Yeah, these are not great thumbnails. Congratulations on 100,000 subs. Probably a lot of that might have to do with bigger videos or shorts, or the fact that this is a hub for the community of fans. Looks like you used to do different content back in the day, but that you switched over to covering this K-pop band. Because it says in your channel, it's about Twice, New Jeans, BTS. So all right, so at a certain point you were doing some other type of content about Japan, but then you moved because of views to covering idols. Okay, fair enough. What I would say about that though is the thumbnails can be better. But then again, for all I know, you're reaching a Japanese audience, or at least a mixed audience of Japanese and K-pop fans. And so Japanese and Korean fans, and also American fans who follow the culture. So maybe that's the case. I would say that you absolutely should improve the thumbnails specifically. No real commentary on the titles. They are what they are, and they are what would attract those fans. I think it's fine to go with the Japanese magazine style and aesthetic for thumbnails when you're reaching that type of audience. I have zero issues with that, but I also think that they should still just look a little bit more premium for a 100,000 subscriber channel. So that would kind of be my my thought around that. Some of these are better than others in terms of that. But also there seems to be a lack of overall consistency in what videos you're making. I would double down on top performers, obviously. So that's kind of a thought here. Let me see if there are any examples of better performing thumbnails. I'm just checking something. Nope. All right. And let me check the chat real quick. Yeah, Doug Houston says, if you're in YPP, which means if you're in the YouTube Partner Program, you have the support button in the top right-hand corner of Creator Studio. Yeah. For Saxophone's Corner, he says, would it be worth it financially persisting with this style over going to long-form faceless music stream vibe? There's no reason you can't do both. If you're looking for a money-making channel, then in theory, you could do a faceless music channel on the side. However, from a money-making standpoint, I would just go into another niche if you're going to do a faceless channel. If you're going to do a faceless channel, why not go into a absolute money-making niche that's not as hard to do as music? Music requires a lot more effort and work. If you're going to do a faceless channel, why not just go into true crime or something that you know is a money printer? You know? Or why not just go into a faceless ASMR channel that doesn't require you to make unique music or worry about music covers or licensing, and go pure faceless ASMR aesthetic channel and just make it a money printer? Or why, again, even that, you have to worry about whether people are mad at you interrupting ASMR with ads on that if you do it. So why not go into some money-making niche? And that's not saying going to an entrepreneur niche. I mean, going to something like true crime, which has a crazy audience that's super evergreen, easy to make a back catalog off of, history, mythology. There's any number of things that are money printers if you're going to make a faceless channel. I don't know why it would have to be music. Yeah. So if you have a channel you're already doing that's a passion project, I don't believe in making a second channel that you're passionate about. If you make a channel that you're passionate about, that you like, and you can only do it every other week or once a month or once every other couple of months, I say do the passion thing that you love. And then if you're like, well, is it financially viable? No, make a faceless channel that is financially viable, and don't make it in a niche you're passionate about. Make it in something you know that makes money, that you'd be really good at, because you already have a passion project. I don't think the passion project always has to be the thing that makes money. Sometimes you should protect the passion. And sometimes the best way to protect the passion is to do something else that's really practical at printing money. So sometimes you just keep them separate. Noctalin. First of all, Noctalin's Campfire, congrats on finishing your game and taking the push from me to just execute. So congrats. You say you know a YouTube channel that talks about the lore of a story. How'd they get away with that without having a medium like video games, comics? There's plenty of things that are just inherently interesting that people can do like that. You don't always need something to be popular if it's inherently interesting. So inherently interesting and unique can sometimes beat popular, believe it or not. So we've got, before we do Larry from Home Rapid Repair, we've got the Binge Zone. So we're going to do the Binge Zone, and then we'll do Larry from Home Rapid Repair. All right. So we got the Binge Zone. I actually kind of like this banner I do feel that you could add another color to the background to make your character pop here for the profile pic. 17,000 subscribers on 360 videos. Congratulations. You can find all of our video reviews as well as our binge streams. Subscribe to stay up to date with the Binge Zone. Okay, easy value proposition. Strong thumbnails, very reminiscent of heavy spoilers, so very smart. You're running into the same problem as a lot of people, though. You are still putting your text running into the timestamp in the bottom right-hand corner, so that is a thing. I like the I watched and ranked videos for franchises. I think that's smart. I think you should do more of that. I think that's a really strong content bucket. Doing that for interesting aspects of videos are really good. So you ranked every dragon. That was dope. No wonder that did 44K views in a month. Congratulations. The real reason why, and all right, so the real reason why something happened needs to be a title formula that you use over and over and over again. I would argue same thing for stuff like the shocking truth about blank, the real reason why. So yeah, these are performing for you. So you're learning really well about the title formulas. Yeah, this is doing well for you. Okay, so here's the thing. You're getting views and you're getting outlier views. You need to be asking for the subscribe 2 minutes into your videos and telling people if you're enjoying this or you appreciate this type of video, subscribe for more. You need to say that 2 minutes into your videos. You will drastically increase the number of subscribers from the number of viewers to a much better ratio for you because you are getting views. In fact, your most popular stuff, look at this. Even notwithstanding stuff from 6 years ago, because you were smart enough to cover a show early. But if we go to stuff that's more recently performing for you, look at how many videos you have over 100K views. Look at how many videos you're doing stuff right. You're very clever. So your biggest problem is you could grow more if you ask for the subscribe, because I know a lot of you have been coached into believing stop asking for subscribers. People get it. Stop asking for. No, don't ask, don't get. Closed mouths don't get fed. A lot of you could literally 3x to 5x the number of subscribers you're getting every single month and get a lot closer to play buttons if you just bloody well ask for the subscribe 2 minutes into the video. The video is 10 minutes long, ask for it 2 minutes in. The video is 3 minutes long, ask for it a minute in. You created some value already. Ask for something in return that cost them $0. Hitting subscribe cost them nothing to support you. Ask for it. Ask for it 2 minutes into the video and ask for it again at the very end of a video for the people who are diehards who watched a video all the way to an end. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't care what million subscribed channel says that they're sick and tired of hearing people ask for subscribers. I'm going to tell you right now, the worst advice in YouTube is to not ask for the subscribe. Ask for the damn subscribe. Ask for it, but do it in a way that makes sense or is clever, and don't do it 30 seconds into your video. Create some value, get people watching, get some people who weren't going to give you a chance out the door already, people who are still hanging around, ask them to do something nice for you. Subscribe. It doesn't cost them anything. So, by the way, if you're watching this video, you've been getting value from this live stream, you appreciate what I'm doing, you appreciate all the free information, do me a quick favor. Hit the subscribe button. It costs you $0. It supports the channel, and it doesn't cost you a thing. See there? Probably going to get some more subscribers just from doing that. Ask for the things that you want, especially if it doesn't cost anybody anything. It is that simple. If you're creating value, it shouldn't be a problem. A lot of you will triple to 5x your subscribers. I've seen it, especially people who ask for it at the end of YouTube Shorts. You're so worried about people swiping away. They're at the end of the short. They're already going to swipe away. If you're doing YouTube Shorts, ask for it at the end of the short. Every single short asks, hey, subscribe for more. They're at the end of the short. So a lot of you will literally triple to 5x the monthly number of your subscriber growth with this one simple thing. If you can just get over feeling ashamed, embarrassed, or awkward about asking for the thing you know deep down that you actually want. Life has an action bias. Take action. You want something, ask for it. Don't ask, don't get. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. But anyway, great job overall, the Binge Zone. Good history here. Consistency. Again, your biggest problem is your subscriber conversions. Also, to some degree, I think you have to stick to things that are currently relevant. You're probably very passionate about going back and talking about the Man of Steel movie, and it's not bad views for your size, so I'm not that worried about it. But the video is going to level off soon, but then maybe it'll come back. I think you have to try very much to try to stick to relevant current topics. And again, it doesn't always work because you talked about Deadpool 3 and Wolverine, and that didn't necessarily get a ton of views. I think, however, a video that had a title like The Real Reason Why Something Happened in That Movie would have probably performed better for you, because your audience actually has a high degree of curiosity behind the things that they want to watch and learn about. And so your big selling point here is curiosity and conspiracy theories about, well, this is the real reason this happened. Or, hey, let me explain it to you. So people are either confused about something, they're curious about something, or you're alluding to a conspiracy. And that's the selling point for your content. You may not have realized that. So that's what's going on here. You actually stopped asking for subs a while back. Okay. Doug, will only take 2 more potential channel reviews, just 2, because thank you for keeping count. But my voice is dying. So we'll take Rides and Ratchets, and then we'll take 1 more, and I still owe Larry 1. So those will probably be, unless we get 1 more, we'll only take 1 more. But I'm going to have to, for us to take 1 more, I'm going to have to go, and I'm going to have to get something to drink. And we're back. We're only taking 1 more slot for a channel review. Read the rules pinned to the top of the chat for how to do that. So let's see. Yeah, if you want subs, you do need to ask for them. You absolutely have to ask for subs. So yeah. So let's see. Before we do Larry, Rides and Ratchets. So let's see. That's a cool name. Rides in Ratchets. So your page is, and then Mario Roberts Jr. will probably be the last one besides Larry. So let's see, 50 videos. So you haven't made your first 100 videos yet. This channel is the most unorganized page dedicated to the garage builders who just want to make it happen. The ones who take what they got and make it work, just good vibes. So here's the problem. That's still not extremely clear about what that means, but I guess if it is for you, then you know what it is. So I guess that is speaking to car and motorcycle enthusiast. So the thing is, I would try to make that more abundantly clear. Let's see what the most popular video you've ever made is. So Portland import 3 months ago. Okay, so some of this is cool. So here's the thing. These thumbnails, the reason the thumbnails don't work 100% is the text is obscuring, in some cases, the most interesting thing. But one of the best things here is, I'll give you a primary example. The Jackrabbits Are Back Ironhead Transformation Part 2. All of that text could have just been on one side of that image, and none of it should have blocked that motorcycle, because it could have just been on the same side there with the road, and that would have been a beautiful thumbnail. And that thumbnail, and it got you 1,000 views, but it could have probably gotten 5,000 views just by making the motorcycle, which is the most interesting thing about the video, the hero of that thumbnail and the most prominent thing in that shot, especially on the phone. The reason the Portland video did so well with 5K views out of everything is because you have a gorgeous shot of the car, and we know what to expect, and it's beautiful, and we want to see it. So that did really well for that reason. Your Yamaha Bolt video, it does look interesting, and you can see, that, hey, I'm here in my garage. So good photography makes a difference with this kind of stuff. Look at this old seat for the Ironhead. That one, you're not really making the text obscure anything about that thumbnail. But the thing is, the text has to add value and substance and appeal to the thumbnail, or it's really just getting in the way of everything. Same thing with this episode 3 Ironhead makeover, but also for a random person who's not your subscriber, that title doesn't mean anything. That title doesn't mean anything for somebody who's not a subscriber of your channel. A lot of you are making the mistake of making stuff for only your subscribers instead of saying, here is my person that I make videos for, and they need to be attracted to this video whether they know who I am or not. And your thumbnails need to package in that way, and the same thing for your titles. So what I would say is you have potential, but a lot of your packaging makes it hard to watch your videos if we don't know who you are. And there needs to be a lot more consistency for somebody to be a subscriber to this. So what I would say is there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with this. And I actually kind of love the IRL content, and I love how authentic and gritty this is. So I'm not really telling you that the content needs to be different. I would argue the most important thing you're struggling with is the packaging of your content and the continuity and consistency of how you're trying to communicate to the person you're trying to speak to, and how they can get invested in this without already knowing who you are. So you have to make stuff for strangers. You have to make stuff for strangers. So that's, you have to make stuff as if the person watching it has never seen you before, doesn't know who you are, might not even care, and they have to care about the thing itself. So that's what we want to focus on. So we're going to do Mario and Larry, and then we're going to call it a night because it's super late here on the East Coast. It's past Roberto's bedtime. It is past Roberto's bedtime, so we're locking it up. So we're doing Mario, then we'll do Larry real quick. So Mario Roberts Jr. I love a channel review if it's not too late. I pivoted a couple of times. My videos from 3 months ago are the direction I'm committed to. Self-improvement, personal development. Would love to know. Okay, Mario. You know, self-improvement is a very competitive niche, and it usually takes social proof and expertise to grow in it. It's not impossible, but we're going to see what you're working with. And you know, it's rough when you pivot because it's starting from scratch every time. So the banner at the top is actually pretty good. Strong start. Cut yourself out from the background here for your profile pic. Maybe also a sharper profile pic. Looks a little blurry in there. Looks like you're leading with YouTube Shorts for now. Not anything inherently wrong with that, but we're going to judge thumbnails on regular videos. So we're going to click over to regular videos. Don't use generic YouTube thumbnails or for this type of content. For you, for motivation and for people, use photo-based thumbnails that scream authenticity. And I would say for you, if you're going to go the motivational route, yep, and I would nix the gaming thumbnail stuff because you said you're on motivation. I'm going to tell you what I think you should do from a topic standpoint, and the topics will inform the titles, and this is what will fix things for you. And you don't need to copy Dan Coe. You need to be more authentic to you. And you're almost on the right track with this video you did 3 months ago, man, because this outperforms a lot of your stuff and you have 200 subscribers. Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Unlist, don't private, but unlist all of your video game tutorial type thumbnails. Unlist them. I know they probably got you views. They probably got you sub. Just unlist them. You don't need those up anymore. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to focus on the 6 topics that men are the most frustrated, most depressed, and most beat up around in modern times. And modern times kind of in many ways suck for most men on a mentally, emotionally, and spiritual level. The modern world is kind of trash sometimes. Your message is basically reject modernity, embrace tradition, and you speak exclusively to men. You need to do men's personal development. And what you need to do is you probably just need to lean into what the Bible says about men's personal development. So what I would tell you is, here's what you're going to do for your men's personal development and self-improvement niche is you're going to pick 6 content pillars, and your 6 content pillars are going to be, or maybe it's maybe for you it might weirdly be 7 content pillars in a way, because I have a weird angle for you. Hear me out. Maybe you attack men's self-improvement from the lens of the 7 deadly sins, because that could be actually a really interesting theme. So think about it like this. Gluttony is addressed by self-improvement in the categories of fitness, discipline, strong body, that type of thing. So maybe there's something that you could look at in terms of what the Bible says about, men's self-improvement by taking a regular men's self-improvement title that did 100,000 to 1 million views. So you could look at like something like 1of10.com, find outlier video titles about men's self-improvement and development that did 100,000 to 1 million views in the last 90 days. But then you take a twist on it and then say, now I'm going to change that title to 8 things the Bible says about that same title. and do that same thing, but now with the twist of 8, 7, 10 things the Bible says. So that might be the twist on here's this thing, but from a biblical perspective for men's self-improvement. So if we went 7 deadly sins, you could go with men's issues with relationships, marriage, and sexuality. That's the lust category of that. Gluttony is the fitness and personal development and treating your body right kind of thing that people might struggle with. Slothfulness is something that men deal with motivation, being lazy, being disciplined. So there you go. You could go the route of, talking about the positive aspects of wealth building, but also guarding against greed and what the sin of greed looks like in terms of that. Emotional control, arrogance, how to deal with the sin of pride and everything like that. Emotional control, controlling your emotions, basically addressing being wrathful and like forgiveness and being important and not lashing out, not seeking revenge. What does the Bible say about when people wrong you, revenge, this, that, or whatever, so forth. So if you look at those kind of things, because we always say greed, sloth, wrath, gluttony, lust, envy, big one right now. Envy. So you could talk about that. You could talk about that when we talked about pride as well. Envy is a big one in terms of being jealous of other people's success, other people's money, talking badly about others. So you could just, even with that gives you content pillars to say, I can now take modern issues and psychological and emotional and societal problems, put them through that lens, and then give men personal development advice. And then you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be an expert now, because all you're doing is saying, well, here's something I found that God says about this. Here's something the Bible says about that. So like that could be a way to have a very unique angle on men's personal development. And that would be radically different for you. That'd be radically different from you. And the thing is, if you did that, if you went that direction, it's also very easy for you to make either 3 videos a week or literally put out 7 videos a week and go daily for a while and have that strong content and build a back catalog and build your rhythm. From a thumbnail standpoint with that, I would then go with authentic photography driven thumbnails. And in that case, it could be closer to the just do it thumbnail, but instead you could literally be holding the Bible like you are in the 8 Bible verses worth more than money, because that would be a social proof angle of a thumbnail as well. Also creates a very interesting element. You could also use this in a reaction format sometimes, of reacting to modern media culture and news that's happening, especially in the Black community, and then say, well, what does the Bible say about this? Or is like, or, what would that take be? So there's a way to approach that. And this is an angle for you that would be unique. It's a bit of a polarizing angle, which is also good, because in a psychological aspect, it inherently breeds controversy, and it's either for people or it's not. So it also qualifies a profile for a returning viewer that wants that unique value proposition the entire time. So now you have a recurring viewer model. You have inherently are inciting to some degree controversy and conflict, because you're polarizing people by pulling them with their modern desires for certain things, in contrast to a value system that speaks to a higher principle or a higher morality. So now there's inherently tension that's created, and tension is necessary to some degree to incite any type of action you want. Tension has to be created, because then tension is released by taking action. In this case, it could be taking the action of clicking a video or doing the thing the video says or what have you. So in general, for most people, regardless of what content you're making, you should be thinking about that sort of thing. in terms of leveraging your emotional intelligence in how you're presenting and packaging something. And the thing is, it's justified, that polarization, if it already exists, because then you're not creating that polarization, you're tapping into it because it already exists. If anything, you're acknowledging that it already exists and you're meeting people where they are. So I would say that in this sense, especially with men's self-help and self-improvement and personal development, there's not a higher status or social proof than the Bible and than God. So that is incredibly compelling. And then on top of that, saying here is ancient wisdom to address modern problems means that that's enough borrowed authority to where you never have to be expert in anything, and you'll never run out of content, and you'll never run out of ideas. And it also means, again, you can source any video that's ever been clicked on for men's personal development, self-improvement, and then take the angle and twist on it of what the Bible's message or validation of that thing is. So that's what I have for you there, Mario. Hopefully that's helpful, because I think it's radically different. I think there's also a growing desire for it. I think there's an existing market that's probably underserved, especially in the Black community. I think that's, radically underserved by somebody that's also still young enough to be relatable and be relevant. So it's an opportunity. It's nothing but an opportunity. And I think it's probably something you might feel that you're called to do. And the reason I'm saying to remove those videos is just from a brand standpoint for the direction he's going. I think it's more important for him to go hard in that direction, because I just think practically speaking, it'll make sense. I do understand that affects watch time publicly and things like that. So maybe you wait till after you're monetized if that's something important to you. But then again, maybe brand might be. So from a brand standpoint in this direction, it might be worth it to do. So it just depends. But I also think, I think it's fine if you wait till you're monetized to remove those other videos. So you don't have to remove those right away, Mario. You can wait until you're monetized just to make things a little easier. But when you are, and after you are at well over the requirements, you can slowly start to unlist those videos, but unlist the ones with the least amount of watch time first to not hurt your monetization status. So that'd be my advice there. All right, so we're closing out the night with Larry from Home Rapid Repair. All right. So yeah, Larry says, I think I'm just getting started. Last month, ad revenue was $1,500, another $450 from Amazon. Studying channels older than me, I think I can 10x these results in another 3 to 5 years. It might not even take another 3 to 5 years, Larry, at this rate. But great job. I'm glad the Amazon stuff is working out and that the channel is doing well. Congratulations, by the way. And yeah, small channels can make decent money if you have a strong enough back catalog. Strong enough back catalog means everything. That's why Larry, I think it's important for you guys to see what Larry's saying about his money and his success here, because it's down to his back catalog of content. Everyone is too fixated because big YouTubers fixate on their latest videos performance, and you see that everywhere in social media. Larry's back catalog is still getting views, and he's still eating because of his back catalog of evergreen content. That's why he can make $1,500 a month in ad revenue and $450 in Amazon. So Larry's back catalog, he has 600 videos that are all useful videos. So he's a big back catalog of videos. And that's why he can have a less than 10,000 subscriber channel and make $2,000 a month. He's not far from making really, really healthy money from this channel. but it's because of not being obsessed with every upload doing well right away and just having a strong back catalog of evergreen and useful content. So, Larry, main thing for you is just to get very consistent in the style and approach you use to your thumbnails, so people can kind of see that you're Larry from Home Rapid Repair, which doesn't mean, by the way, putting your face in the thumbnails. But I want you, without putting your face in the thumbnails, to take an approach to your thumbnails similar to Linus Tech Tips. And I want you to become the Linus Tech Tips of home improvement. I want you to think about what I'm saying here. I want you, Larry, to study in the tech YouTube niche, the YouTuber Linus Tech Tips and their channels like Linus Tech Tips, Tech Quickie, and all of that. And I want you to basically think about becoming the Linus Tech Tips of home improvement. Yep. So there are a lot of videos here that do well. I see they're also trying to be more consistent. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. And remember, useful evergreen how-to content. Give it enough time to cook and it can print money for you forever. And you're learning that lesson. I do think your thumbnails can be improved. I think your greatest weakness in theory is your thumbnails to some degree. I totally get that. Get consistent on what the font is and on font placement. Take some inspiration from our friend Technically T. But yeah, I think your big thing is to improve thumbnails. If you're going to do circle and arrow, my friend, circle and arrow is you always use the colors red, white, and yellow for the most part if you're going to do circles and arrows. And again, I would just try to get consistent on colors and fonts and design style so that people know that they're looking at your content. And also, you know, I would try to create some something, even if it's your photography style, that is on brand. I really like, by the way, Larry, this never struggle with extension cords again. I really like this in the sense of there's a visual to this. I just wish the photo was slightly better or stronger. Avoid wearing shirts that have confusing image patterns in them. Try to wear, if you're not going to wear solid colors, wear flannel if you're not going to wear solid colors. I'll tell you what, Larry, even creating a look for yourself in terms of a uniform of being on brand, and it doesn't have to be the uniform with your company's logo. In fact, to somewhat lean into nostalgia and meme culture, Larry, I would consider buying for all of your YouTube thumbnails, buying there's two design props in wardrobe that I would buy for you instead of you having your logo that says Home Rapid Repair. I want you to either buy a hard hat to wear, a yellow hard hat to wear in your thumbnails going forward, or buy a baseball cap that looks like a yellow hard hat. So either way, I would do that. And I would start wearing flannel, and I would make the flannel look like Al Borland from Home Improvement from back in the day, or look like Bob Vila from back in the day with This Old House with Bob Vila. and I would kind of make a signature look. I do see you were kind of going with a signature look with wearing your hat and wearing your polo and kind of wearing like, you know, a combination of green or gray. But I think like either something like a hard hat and safety vest and looking like you're always on a construction site could be interesting, because then you've kind of in a way turned yourself into this interesting, recognizable cartoon character. So yeah, I agree with Urban Avocados that a safety vest potentially, or again, even a combination of those, or even solid colors. You might have noticed that I have a couple of signature looks that I wear in my videos, but that I basically mostly use my black on black in my thumbnails now. And I make it easier with my black on black for my thumbnails for me to use colors in contrast to my thumbnails to pop out. So, you know, that's something that could potentially work as well. So just something to keep in mind. I do like when you do things that are product centric and where we see the product front and center in the thumbnail. And that works especially for people on the YouTube homepage who have no idea who you are, which is going to be the majority of people if it does well on the homepage. So I do like that. I liked that you had the cord wrapped around you for this video about the electrical outlet. I just wish the cord was somehow thicker or represented that, or there was more of it, because that's a super interesting thumbnail to some degree. But I also think it's harder for this to pop with the wood texture background. So I then would have removed myself from the background and made a color that would pop. And I probably would have used yellow. Or red, but probably yellow. So it's that sort of thing. So there's some basic design principle stuff that I think would help you on the thumbnail thing, because your topics, your consistency, the value, the authenticity, the utility, it's all there and you get views. But your biggest barrier to views, Larry, at this point is thumbnails that make it easier for people to click on the video. And I'm going to see if I can find a good example here. Maybe some of these. So there are some things with that pop out. Like, for example, I think this person specifically spray painted this power tool to be lime green to just make it pop more in a YouTube thumbnail. I think close-ups potentially with tools do very well. Things with ladders seem to do well for some weird reason. Macro close-up shots of tools like this is good. Let me see. Macro close-up shots of tools do very well. Mario has a question here. I think this is a good question. So that's it for you, Larry, for now. So Mario has a really good question. Roberto, when you recommend authentic thumbnail, photo-based thumbnails, do you have any preference on text or no text or other creative effects like darkening the background? Thank you very much. So sometimes darkening or brightening the background, depending on how you look or how the lighting is or what your complexion is, can make a difference. As for words, I believe that you either use the 1, 2, 3 strategy, which is 1, 2, 3, and you stack words. So 1, 2, 3 combinations of stacking words. Try to not use more than 3 to 4 words in a thumbnail because we only scan them. And so I would use that. For using text in thumbnails to some degree, one of the best examples of that could be my videos in terms of text in thumbnails and when to use them, when not to use them, in terms of how to use them effectively. So I think that can be powerful for those type of authentic thumbnails. It also depends on the audience. Look into, for you, Mario, look into YouTuber Myron Golden. Look into Myron Golden. Very good role model for you to follow, not only for YouTube, but for everything. So, yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, Larry, the like macro shots that involve power tools can be good for you. So I would start studying some macro photography. So that could be an angle. In terms of, there's some other home improvement stuff. No, that's more of the macro photography stuff. Hang on. Let's see. Those are more the gotcha thumbnails. That's Elon Musk. Home features. Nope. In terms of a body language example, a lot of these outdoor thumbnails show action. So sometimes action. So macro shots plus action are good for things that are more home improvement and men doing like things. Also, the amount of large items, if there's a large number of items, sometimes is helpful. Machinery does well, obviously. Examples of machinery. You're not doing things that involve large machinery, Larry, but you get the idea. So, yeah. So it'd be that sort of thing. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I would tend to look at in your particular case. Yep, crispy thumbnails. Like, also, I think, Larry, you're probably having someone shoot your thumbnails with an iPhone for you. Totally get that. It's convenient. It's the camera that you have a lot of the time. So it's not that I'm completely rooting against that, but you can tell that a lot of these people, and yeah, you can sharpen things up in post and whatever, but you can tell a lot of these people it's cameras. I mean, again, look at even my screen here. And even look at my graphics, that's using a real camera. That's the power of using a real camera. I mean, look at how crispy even, my video is. That's the power of using a real camera. Power of using a real camera is how incredibly crispy this is. So, yeah, that's a thing. So real cameras matter, and they can help. Again, it's not everything, and it's not the only answer. And yeah, you can use your phone if you know what you're doing, or the person taking the photo for you knows what you're doing. But it's also not as easy to get as good of a shot that does a lot of those things. And things like macro photography, you do kind of really want an actual camera for stuff like that. So keep that in mind, and it can drastically improve the thumbnails. It can take a thumbnail from being a 2 out of 5 to a 5 out of 5 very easily. Yeah. Mario says, love Myron Golden's content. You gave me so much clarity today. I'll be implementing these tips in my very next video. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Oh, work gloves. Work gloves could help you stand out too, Larry. It's like, yeah, Larry, for you, there might be a few things that seem gimmicky that can help you stand out and make people want to come back. So there are things that could just make you, in some weird ways, just kind of like an easy to recognize guy in your thumbnails when you're in your thumbnails. By the way, I'd have strategies, a lot of you guys, for, okay, here's what I do when I'm in my thumbnails. Here's what I do when I'm not in my thumbnails. Here's what I do when I use text. Here's what I do when I don't use text. Here's what I do when it's a before and after video. Here's what I do when it's a versus video. Here's what I do when I have multiple numbers of things, here a number of items. Here's what I do when I do this. Here's what I do when I do that. I would really map a lot of these things out, write a lot of these things down, and not try to make everything a one size fits all and have scenarios. So I think from a strategy standpoint, that would help a lot more of you than you think, considerably. I think that would considerably help a lot of you. So again, thanks to our friends at oneof10.com for sponsoring today's video. It's a great tool. You can get a free trial using code AWESOME at checkout. We'll get you 1 month free trial if you want to use the tool first and see if it can help you. If you already think that it's a great tool, you can use code Roberto at checkout and you can get 50% off. And so that's going to get you a great discount. So I think that that would be incredibly helpful as a tool for y'all. And I want to thank them for sponsoring. We are going to be doing more of these channel reviews because of our sponsor, One of 10. We're going to be doing these for the next 6 months, 1 to 2 times a month as I can. And I think that it's going to be really helpful for you. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try for my clips channel to clip the individual channel reviews and post those to my clips channel just as an easy reference point. Also, I'm going to try and timestamp these as well. I also do not mind any volunteers and heroes in the comment section who want to try and timestamp things for me. Not going to bother me any if someone wants to do that. So that's, what I think we'll do. But other than that, really enjoyed spending time with y'all tonight. It's past Roberto's bedtime. So we're going to close out with my book trailer. You guys can check out my book. It's linked in the description down below. All of the resources we talk about are linked in the description down below, including our sponsor, oneof10.com. Stay awesome, and I will catch you guys on the next one. We'll probably do a workshop Wednesday. I don't know what our workshop will be, and I'm fairly sure we're going to do a FAQ Friday. So you've got 2 more streams coming this week and a big announcement video. There's a new YouTube announcement. It is huge. It is channel life-changing, platform-breaking update that's really good. It's a positive update. It's good news. It's good news. Good news dropping on Thursday. I will have a detailed video about that good news. I'm literally outlining it and filming it tomorrow and editing it on Wednesday and releasing it on Thursday. So we've got big YouTube platform change happening on Thursday. That is really exciting. Super exciting. And I want to talk to you about it. It is not something that was announced at YouTube Made 2 weeks ago. It is a completely different announcement for the platform. That will be happening on Thursday. I will have a video about it. You will not want to miss it. It is going to be huge. So we've got that. We've probably got a workshop on Wednesday. We'll figure out the theme of Wednesday's workshop. It'll probably be something really practical and hands-on. Then we'll do an FAQ Friday where we'll answer a lot of your questions. We'll cover some more strategy fundamentals. To be honest with you, I think that based on a lot of y'all's feedback, Wednesday's workshop will probably be a title and topic workshop. So we'll talk about topics and titles a lot on Wednesday. So I've just decided the theme of Wednesday's workshop is topics and titles. So there. So yeah, topics and titles for Wednesday's workshop. And so we'll talk about the clicks method. We'll talk about the clicks method more and about why you need to use that in your videos and why you need to leverage psychology in your video titles. And we'll talk more about these topics and building out your content pillars and why we use 6 content pillars. So yeah, so that's what you can look forward to. And then we'll answer your questions in FAQ Friday. So, yep. Yes, Darth Roberto has spoken. Your feeble skills are no match for the powers of the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, so we'll do that. Thanks for showing up, Clover Tack. Yep, better late than never. Absolutely. Appreciate all of y'all. All right, so we're going to close out with my book trailer. You can buy the book, links in the description. Stay awesome. I'll catch you guys next time. I finally did it. I finished my book, Create Something Awesome, How Content Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. The book is available now in paperback and in Kindle, where you can read it on any e-reader or device. And I'm really excited about this. The audiobook is coming soon, probably October 2022. Oh my God, it's so great to be able to have this book done, put it up on the bookshelf, and to know that all of you who appreciate it, you want to hear what I have to say about the creator economy, becoming a full-time content creator, and what the experience and lifestyle of being a content creator actually is like. This is the book. I put 20 chapters in here of the most important things I think that content creators could be focusing on today. I talk about the mental health aspect of being a content creator, getting discouraged, imposter syndrome, not charging what you're worth, and mostly actionable advice around monetizing your content properly, but also how to build an audience on your authenticity and what it's really like to start from zero, even today. So if you're interested, make sure you're checking out the book. You can order it on Amazon. You also probably order it in a lot of other places like Barnes & Noble, and it will be coming to other bookstores soon. Really excited about it. Thank you for all the support and love around the book and the positive reviews. Now go ahead and pick it up and make sure you go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.